You ever wanted to learn a new skill, like coding, picking up a new language, maybe a musical instrument, but then you get totally overwhelmed by just how much time it's going to take? Well, what if you could basically speedrun the whole process? Okay, let's dive into a framework that promises to do exactly that, helping you master just about any skill in only 7 days.
Man, this quote really hits home, doesn't it? I mean, we've all been there. You're putting in the hours, you feel super busy, but your actual skill level, it just flatlines. So today, we're going to break that cycle. We're giving you the cheat code, the smarter way to learn that the top performers are using.
And that really brings us to the core problem we're tackling. It's this massive difference between being busy and actually getting better. Believe me, they are not the same thing. And figuring that out is the very first step toward making some rapid improvement.
So let's make this personal for a second. Think about a skill you're trying to learn right now. Are you just kind of putting in the time and hoping for the best? Or is there a deliberate, smart system behind what you're doing? Look, this isn't about questioning how hard you work. It's about upgrading your strategy.
Okay, so this is where the cheat code comes in. And no, it's not magic, but honestly, it kind of feels like it. It's a method for just cutting through all the noise and focusing on what actually drives progress, letting you learn way faster than you ever thought you could.
The big takeaway here is simple. We've got to stop thinking about learning in terms of hours logged. The real secret isn't more time, it's a superior system. It's all about having a better blueprint that makes every single minute of your practice actually count for something.
And here it is. This is the 80-20 blueprint. This is the 3-part framework that is going to completely redefine how you approach learning a new skill. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's all based on proven principles of efficiency and, how our brains actually work.
So the blueprint has 3 core parts. First up, we're setting incredibly tight deadlines to force that focus. Second, we're going to isolate the tiny handful of activities that give you most of your results. And third, we're going to practice in these short, varied bursts. Let's break each one down.
Okay, principle 1 is all about something called Parkinson's law. Basically, if you give yourself a month to learn something, guess what? It's going to take a month. But what if you only give yourself 1 week? This law says that by setting a ridiculously short deadline, you force your brain to get rid of all the non-essential stuff and just focus with like a laser beam.
Next up, we isolate those high-yield activities using the famous 80-20 rule. For pretty much any skill, a tiny 20% of the things you could do are responsible for 80% of the results, right? Think about learning a language. That 20% is probably the 500 most common words, not the entire dictionary. Your job is to find that vital 20%. And just ignore everything else, at least for now.
And finally, you practice in these short 10-minute bursts. So instead of a long 2-hour grind on one single thing, you're going to be switching between different sub-skills really fast. Now I know, that might sound totally counterintuitive, but the science behind why this works is, well, it's fascinating.
So, why does this blueprint work so incredibly well? Let's get into the science of speed, specifically the brain science principle that powers those 10-minute bursts. It's a technique, and it's called interleaving. See, when you quickly switch between related topics, you're actually forcing your brain to work harder to recall and apply the information. It can't just go on autopilot. The process is kind of like cross-training for your mind, and it builds stronger, way more flexible connections in your brain.
And the result of all this is pretty wild. The source material calls it a 2-for-1 memory upgrade. Seriously. By practicing skill A and then quickly jumping over to skill B, you actually get better at both of them and faster than if you had just practiced them separately. It is an incredible learning hack.
And this just lays it all out perfectly. The old way, blocked practice, that's how we were all taught to study, right? Just drilling one thing for hours on end. The new way, interleaved practice, is all about that rapid switching. And while blocked practice might feel a little easier in the moment, interleaving is where you get that much deeper, longer-lasting learning.
Okay, so we've covered the problem, we've walked through the blueprint, and we've looked at the science. Now, it's time to actually put it into practice. This is your 7-day challenge. Let's see how you can use this to master a new skill starting right now.
So let's just recap the entire blueprint one more time. It really just comes down to 3 steps. First, use Parkinson's law. Set a ridiculously short deadline, like 1 week. Second, apply that 80-20 rule to find the vital 20% of the skill that gives you most of the results. And finally, use interleaving. Practice those core things by switching between them every 10 minutes. That's it. That is the entire system.
So we've laid out the cheat code for you. The only thing left
is for you to use it. Think about that one thing you've always wanted to learn. Now you have the blueprint to make it happen, not in years, but in days. So, my question to you is, what skill will you master first?